All right, so let's talk about one of the biggest double-edged swords in network marketing, and that is the barrier or the cost to entry. There is no barrier to entry, and that presents a big problem. We're going to talk about that today. Hey, what's up, my fearless networking friend, Todd Falcone here. What's happening? So a couple weeks ago, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I did a pretty lengthy Facebook post on this subject. And you may not, the only way you would have seen it is if you are on my personal Facebook page. And in fact, I will make sure that I put it into this post. So if you're on YouTube, you're going to want to come over to where this post is at. You're going to want to see this. If you're on my podcast on audio, you're going to want to come over here, which is toddfalcone.com/episode 328. I'll give that to you again at the end of what I'm going to share with you today, but I'll make sure I include that because I think it would be kind of bring it all together. So this is a problem. That it's a problem and it's great. Like there's no barrier to entry in network marketing. It costs like virtually nothing. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm not suggesting that companies go change their ways and like up the prices to get in. I mean, you can get into a network marketing company for free or $20 or $50, or, I mean, even you can come in with most of the companies today, it's 200, 300, 500. It's very, very cheap to get in. I mean, you might have some companies that have got optional packages that are 1,000, 1,500, maybe $2,000. But I mean, shoot, when I got in, you know, like I had no money to get in, which is why I could get in, which is one great thing about this. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword. I limited out my college credit card on my first purchase and then filled out this thing called a convenience charge because it was so convenient. Here, borrow $500 on an unsecured loan at 28.99% interest. And that's how I got started, which, I don't know if I would have got started in network marketing because if I didn't have any credit, I wouldn't got started. Now, and credit's great as long as you use it right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I got a $50,000 credit card. I'm gonna go spend 50 grand. Well, you don't really have 50 grand. You have to have the ability to pay it back. But we'll save that for another conversation. So this is the problem. And this is why that post I think got so much traction. It's so easy to get in that nobody has any skin in the game. They got no skin. It's like, oh, big deal. I mean, I only put $100 in this thing. What's the big deal if I don't do anything with it? And so they treat it like the $50. They treat it like the free thing. And that presents a huge problem. Again, I'm not suggesting that network marketing companies change and start charging big money because it will change the game. I mean, a lot of people won't be able to get in. People like myself and thousands of other people that I know have done exceptionally well. They would have never got into network marketing if it was 15 grand, 20 grand. I mean, and the crazy thing is, like, when I started, which is a long, long time ago, there were two options. It was 1,000 or 5,000. There was actually even a 25,000 option, which people were actually doing. And now people are bitching that it's like $200 or $500, and it's like 30 something years later. I mean, it's crazy. So, but here's the thing that we need to think about. So companies can't, nor am I suggesting or asking them, hey, you should be charging more. That's not going to happen. So it will always have this ease of entry. And there are a lot of benefits to a network marketing business. The tax benefits, the no overhead, or very little overhead, no office, no insurance, employees, work, from literally anywhere, so as long as you got an internet access and a phone. I mean, so there's so many upsides, but yet it's so cheap to get in. Again, great thing, but terrible thing, because any person can come in that shouldn't even be in this business and in the first place. And there are lots of those people that make it into network marketing, people that just honestly should not be in this business. I've never been a proponent of like, oh, network marketing's for everybody. Anybody could do this. That's not true, man. So stop saying that it is. It's like you have to be a disciplined person. There are so many qualities that somebody has got to exhibit. Discipline, resilience, persistence. I won't get into all of them, but it's not for everybody. Okay, it's just not. But yet, because it's so cheap, these people find their way in, the ones that shouldn't even be here. And then they're here. And even the ones that could be here, or could make it here and have the qualities that are required to succeed here, many of those people just treat it like this little cheap thing that they got into. And what's interesting is it's very, very different than like let's take a McDonald's franchise. I think, the last thing I read up on it, it's like $1 million to get, I mean, it's $1 million to get into a McDonald's franchise. If you can get one, you can't, there's not one. First of all, I mean, you've had to have been disciplined and successful enough to come up with $1 million if you did it on your own. Secondly, you had to have been a pretty good person to figure out how to borrow the money, like to convince somebody to give you $500,000 from your uncle or $500,000 from somebody else to put the million together. And if you have that much in it, there's zero chance that you're going to sit there and sleep on the couch all day or be afraid to talk, you're not going to deal with any of that. You have to make it happen. I mean, it's like, that's the one, like, so I think mentally, can you put yourself mentally like, okay, it cost me $100,000 to get in this business. Now we know in all reality, it didn't cost you $100,000, but I can guarantee you if you put $100,000 into your network marketing business, you would very likely, all of you would probably treat it differently than you are currently. But because it was 150, 300, 1,000, it's like, oh, it's a big deal. It's another day. And that's got to stop. And so the thing is, like, again, all double-edged sword, no overhead, no employees, the ability leverage, the ability to earn income, not just on your efforts, but the efforts of other people. And I could go on and on and on. So a lot of the good things, and the fact that it's cheap is actually a good thing and a bad thing. It's great because it allows all these people to come in, but then it allows all these people to come in and allows people to come in that, like I said, should not be here. So my suggestion to you is, or a question to you, can you shift your mindset to where you're treating it as if your life depended on it? And like, if you lost this money, like imagine you have Uncle Guido, you borrow $100,000 from Uncle Guido, who's part of the mafia, and the VIG is running. And if you don't pay, he's going to come break your legs and hit you with the baseball bat. You're not going to be messing around. Problem is nobody's really literally in that situation, which actually makes me think about this situation. Like, and I've said this multiple stages, and I don't know who's catching this. So if you heard this story, and I probably won't go into the whole story, but it's a great lesson. I've said this many times, and this is the way I personally look at network marketing. So maybe you can have this mental shift. So, so this one event I'm thinking of in my mind, I'm speaking to this audience. These are all people that paid money, airfare, hotel, food, all this stuff to go to this event. And I'm doing this like 2.5, 3 hour training, about halfway through. And I'm in the middle of the room, and I'm asking this audience, like, hey, how many of you guys want to make enough money from this business that you're all here for, where like your life was overflowing as a result of it? Like, it gave you everything that you needed and then some. I think you get my drift. It's like, it provided me everything, didn't have to borrow money. I didn't have to say we can't afford it. Like, all was good. And man, every hand in the room is sky high. I'm like, all right, that's awesome. And then the second question, this is the massive mismatch. How many of you can honestly say up until this point, you've been acting as if your life depends on it? And like 95% of the hands in the room go straight down. I'm like, oh, okay. So you want all the benefits, but you ain't willing to do the work. You want all this good stuff, but you're not willing to pay the price. And then what was kind of fascinating, and what was interesting at the time, because this was actually March 8th of 2020. I was in Vegas. And this is actually, I will tell the rest of the story because I'm going to frame something for you. So I said, like, what happens if you go home from this event, you fly home? I mean, clearly at this point, like, based on the fact that 95% of you put your hands down, that, you all have jobs, you have another source of income. This isn't your primary, you're not relying on this to feed your kids. So what happens? You go home and then you go into work on Monday and you show up to the office and there's a box in the front of, in front of the, front desk person, and it's got your name on it. And you're like, oh, cool. I have a box. That's awesome. And you go up to the box and you're like, what's my gift? Or, well, we don't need you anymore. That's your gift. That's your stapler and your family photos. You're out of here. And you're like, oh, that's not a very good gift. So you go home and you tell your significant other, like, hey, I lost my job today and you better go get another one. And so you're out trying to find a job, which at that time, when I actually was doing this live in front of this audience, was made up. But a week later, it was reality. Because like after March 20th, no jobs were to be had. Everybody was sent home, if we all recall. And so what if, and this is what I did with, I have a coaching group I'm running right now with like 743 people in it. And I did this with this group. Like, what if, and this is the way I want you to look at network marketing. It'd be a good way for you to like shift your thinking. Instead of it like, oh, I've got these products, I got to sell these products and recruit these people, which some people, look at it that way. Instead of you looking at it like a burden, look at it like you have the greatest gift you could ever have that you can give to somebody else. And depending on what you sell, either way, you'll get my drift here. Like, look at it like this way. In the palm of your hands, this is your company, all that it represents. You have this gift. It's the products, it's the company, it's the financial opportunity, it's all of it. This is everything right here. And you can hand this to somebody. And if you were to hand it off to somebody and they grabbed a hold of it, if they then chose to do something with it, to treat it seriously, to treat it like the serious business enterprise that it is, and they were to stick to it and do it and really do it, like all the successful people who are involved in network marketing, the ones that win do, their life would be forever altered. Like their life would never be the same. Now, again, the caveat is they got to do it. They got to stay committed. They got to do it, right? But so you have this gift in the palm of your hands that you get to go out every single day and go give this gift to people. And again, it's their choice. They got to choose it. Hey, I'm going to look at it or I'm not. I'm going to do it or I'm not. But if they were to do it, life is completely different. Like, you just gave them the greatest gift you could possibly give. So what if instead of you looking at it like, oh, this burden, this hard thing, this thing that what if people reject me, or what if they don't like me anymore, or what, it's so, I'm scared. Like, you have this amazing gift that you can go give people, and that's what you get to do every single day. And like if you really looked at it like that, it wouldn't be a secret. It was like you'd be all over the place talking to everybody because you found something, both with the products that you market that can change. If you're in a health and wellness company, they can change their health and how they feel and all this. And because you have this financial opportunity, it can completely alter their financial future, which that's a beautiful way of looking at it. It's very different than many people look at it. You would like, and the problem, and this is where I went with this group, and I'll go with you. We all know this is not reality. Like the fact that let me back up. If this was the only way you could make money, your company, like you couldn't find work, you couldn't borrow money, you had no money in the bank, you have to feed your kids, pay your house payment, pay your car payments, do all the things. And like, this was it, like this gift that I have in the palm of my hands right now. And there's no other, like the income has to come from here. Would you do it differently than you are currently? That's my question to you. And I know you can't respond because of the format that we're in here, but I can guarantee you, if we're in a live format, you're like, hell yeah, I would do it differently. Well, what would you do differently? Well, everything. Who would you talk to? I don't care. I got to eat, man. My kids are getting skinny. I'm going to go talk to whoever I got to talk to. I'm going to do whatever I got to do within, reason of morals and ethics and all of that, right? We don't want to like do illegal things or whatever, but you would do whatever it took. But so what's interesting is asking that audience that question, and many audiences since, it's like, well, you want your life to depend on it, but you're not willing to act as if your life depends on it. And the problem is, because it's so cheap to get in, people oftentimes act like that. But if everybody who got into network marketing, and it still wouldn't guarantee success, by the way, but if everybody who got into network marketing paid $100,000 to get in, first of all, it would eliminate a lot of the people that already know they're hobby people and that they know they're never going to commit anyhow. And they know they're like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to sign up. They would get all those people out of here. And we would have much higher percentages, high percentages of people that won in this business because they got so much skin in the game. And they're like, they would second think it before they signed up. And then they would like, really, like, is this what I want to do? Am I going to do this? Okay, this is how much it's costing me. And then it would be so different. And again, I'm not suggesting that we change it up in terms of how much it costs, but man, why can't you just put yourself in that mental state? Like, this is, you know what? I got to make this work. My back is up against the wall. I have to come out swinging. If I don't come out swinging, then I'm going to be living on the streets. And again, we all know that that's not the true reality, but couldn't you put yourself into that picture? Couldn't you put yourself there in that position? You can. I mean, actors do it all the time. They play roles that become believable to the viewer. So why couldn't you put yourself into this role that it's like, this is, this is a make it or break it deal. And again, it's a double-edged sword. It truly is. It's so cheap, anybody can find their way in. And many do, which is great and not great. That's the double edge. Cool. People can get in that wouldn't otherwise get in, and they can win if they do something with this gift that you've been given. But, because they don't have the skin in the game, it's easy to do and it's easy not to do. So my suggestion for you is that you maybe spend some time with yourself. If this is vibing with you at all, then maybe you sit down with yourself, not with another, just with you, and you go, okay, well, how am I treating this thing? Am I treating this thing as if my life depends on it? Am I treating this thing as if I put everything into it, every last dollar that I have? And here's the deal. Even if the last $50 was the last $50 that you had, and if you're in that situation, I'm sorry. But that still ain't that much money. Even if it was your last $50, it's a lot at that moment, but at $50, $100, $500 is not a lot of money. And the other thing is, let me just be super blunt. If you're 40, if you're 30, and if you're 50 or 60 and you don't have $500 to put into and start and launch a business, something desperately needs to change for you. How can you be 50 years of age and be like, I can't afford it? I mean, that to me is like insanity. Like, the older you get, for sure, like if you're in that position, it's like, you better like change your ways, man. Figure out like how to do things differently, because that's not a good position to be in. If you're 18 and you don't have $500, different story. But if you've had some earning years and some opportunity to like put some stuff away and you're still in that position, I'm not saying network marketing is the thing that's going to save you. It's probably a bunch of other things that you got to change. But I just don't like it how many people get into this business and they end up just not doing anything because it was so cheap to get in. I mean, so many benefits, so many upsides, so many positive things, but it's work. I mean, it's all these qualities. It's like resilience and the ability to commit and the ability to face our fears. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to list all of them. That's for another episode. But look, guys, think about it, ponder it, sit down with yourself, do something different. If I'm talking to you, you know I'm talking to you. And if you're on my podcast, my audio folks, love you guys. By the way, I love my podcast reviews. If you like my podcast, if you think it sucks, then whatever. don't rate it. And then you YouTubers, right? I want to hear from you. And by the way, I will put the post. I'm not going to screenshot it. I'll just copy and paste the image from that Facebook post that I did, because it took me like 90 minutes to write that thing out. And if you're on my Facebook page, if you're not, come follow me. But the other thing is, like, I made a decision back in February. I think it was February. Like, I'm going to do like once a week, I'm going to do a super well thought out, long post that gets people thinking. And if you've noticed, if you do follow me, you're like, oh, wow, he's kind of changed what he's done on Facebook, rather than, hey, I had a great sandwich today, which I've never really done that one, but I just want to get people thinking. So a lot of times, like, I will tell you, every single one of those posts I've done from my bed early in the morning, get up and I start thinking about it. And that post I know took me about 90 minutes, because I wrote it and then I wanted to have a little ring to it. And then I, reformatted it. And I'll make sure it's inside of where this post lives. And I'd love to hear from you too. So, and by the way, I'm always happy to come in here and train on anything you want me to train on. If there's something like you want me to talk about, I'll talk about it. If you want me to come train your team, a lot of people, it's crazy. They think, oh, I can't get this guy. All week long, that's what I do. I come guest speak for company leaders, owners of companies. If you do Zooms, lives inside of your Facebook groups or whatever, it's pretty easy to get me. It's not that hard. You'd be surprised. I mean, I've had a lot of people I've talked to, they're like, oh, I thought it would cost me X amount of dollars. It's like, let's just, if you don't ever ask, you never get. I mean, even like right now, I'm running a private 12-week accountability program, which you guys are all familiar with if you plugged into me, which I always do. Like, I do open ones, but this big leader from a company, he's like, hey, can you do something for my team? I'm like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to drive sales and revenue and get everybody moving. I'm like, oh. And so we put together a private 18. We have 743 people in that deal. 743 people. It's the biggest one I've ever run. And how cool would that be for me to do a private 12-week accountability program for your entire team? If you want to talk about that, game on. Let's have a discussion. So again, toddfalcone.com/episode 328. That's this episode. TODDFALCONE.com/episode 328. I hope I give you something to think about today, but it's more important that you do something about it. That is always what makes the difference. All right. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time.